And he wants us to be able to serve in the kingdom, to grow in our testimonies. And to do that, he needs us to be able to provide for our temporal self-reliance.
Travis Wayne Goodsell. Idaho chick, Idaho chick, Idaho chick. She asked the question on the video I posted this morning about how to be a wise, born-again virgin. Is it the sleeping with the devils that's causing you concern? And she made a comment yesterday too. Is there something specific we should do the next few days physically to best prepare? Any thoughts on needs such as water, food, cash, 3-day, 2-week, etc.? Obviously, we should already have these things. Yeah. So Idaho Chick knows about how the church's list of do's and don'ts is an abomination. She is correct. Those are hedge laws. Pharisaical hedge laws, for which the church punishes Mormons equally to the main law of the Jews. The Ten Commandments, specifically. So I did respond, but in responding I was reminded from one of the scriptures that I forgot to include with the signs in the heavens for today, which uh, 5 p.m. I have 17.4.42. So 5 p.m. this evening, the moon is there with Mercury. And obviously, if I were to click it another hour ahead, it would engulf the moon. This is the messenger. Angel flying through the heavens, giving a message, a trump. 5 p.m. for the moon, for religion that is born again as a virgin, like a virgin. I really liked that song in high school, especially the album cover. Typical boy, typical boy. And so, yeah, as a typical Mormon boy, I had to hide and cover up my sin so that nobody else would condemn me. Hedge laws, remember? Hedge laws. You get punished in this church for hedge law violations. That is a hedge law violation. Prepare for bishop's assimilation. Oh, I just got a board game idea. Dungeons and False Prophets. Which I already told you I came up with in the video I did during the internet blackout. And so, yeah, we've got the hail, we've got the power outages. It's on, baby. It's on. So, yeah, this is awesome. We're all gonna die. All is lost, all is in vain. So, I don't need to do this video. Mormons failed their second estate. I'll just record it in the annals of history. Mormons had the Book of Mormon, and they neglected it, and they're all dead. The end. Good night, sweetheart. Thank you, Daddy. So, Idaho Chick, how long have you been around? It was after, some months after the disappearance of Jasmine, which is a weird phenomenon. There have been rare women who follow me, and then they up and disappear on me. Me being the typical male that I am. And a few months go by, and then another woman pops up to follow me, and so on and so forth. And so it's weird. It's weird. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It just is the way it is. And of course, they're all married and have a great life, don't need me to do what is right. But Idaho chick, she's well learned. She understands partly the world that's going on, and doesn't fully understand the purest of evil. And that's why the men who used to cause the evil used to keep their wives in the dark about the evil that they were performing, claiming that it was for the good of mankind. To keep women dumb, saying that it's for their protection, to keep their innocence. And no, Scripture with that character named Jesus makes it very clear. What goes in your brain does not corrupt you. It's what comes out of your brain through your mouth that corrupts you. I covered that yesterday, wasn't it? Or 2 days ago? Was it one of the blackout videos? I don't know. Been too long. But yeah, Jesus is explaining to them about the hedge law of foods to eat or not to eat. You dumbass. And that's where the video where I use the dinosaur going to the bathroom picture. I use that quote. In fact, I should have it in this file still. Did I take a snapshot of it? Should have. I thought I did. I meant to. There you are. Right next to the sun picture. Matthew chapter 15, verse 17. Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly and is cast out into the drought? And you're supposed to keep reading. Oh, Jesus is teaching us about our bowel system. It has a term. Digestive system. Wow, so cool. I want to learn about my digestive system, Mommy. Okay, Billy. Let's cut you open like they did in Vietnam and in Korea. To show you how your intestines function. See, those are the kinds of things that we keep from women who are pure and innocent and sweethearts. And yeah, Idaho chick I sense is more of a Drew Barrymore in Ever After. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I can't judge her. It's just that spiritual method feeling that I get deep down inside. And so the answer is simple. It's all through the scriptures, but I summarized it for her. Exodus 10:14, because that goes over the day of darkness that we just had. And lo and behold, hey, there's hail. And we have hail piled up on my windowsill, beating upon my window pane this morning. Power outages all over Salt Lake City. I feel safe in Salt Lake City. I feel safe in Salt Lake City. That would have been awesome if they had gone on tour to all the various cities around the world and altered New York City to whatever city they were in. That would have been great merchandising for that song. But they don't need me to tell them how to make money. They've done well on their own. And so, yeah, this is the Exodus period that is being fulfilled right now. And so it's in preparation for Passover as you get into 13 and 14. Exodus 13 and 14. And the Passover is, obviously, is the 1st through the 8th of April. So April Fools, not Passover. Yeah, the Jews didn't invent April Fools, so it's not an April Fool's joke for the Jews. Plus, it's not in the Jewish calendar. But yeah, as I've done the videos, even recently, everything has been fulfilled from Scripture. Every sign in the heavens for the calendar date and clock time have happened. This was just another one that, whoop, there it is. And I'm pointing it out for you. So yeah, I'm doing this video to make sure that I get the Mercury video or Mercury picture in here for you. And we probably should put DNC 133.17, the Mercury pick, so that like I did with the morning video thumbnail picture, we'll do it with the Mercury picture. There's my thumbnail. Thank you, Idaho Chick. You're inspiring. Because I posted it and saw, oh crap. And so I made the picture, had put it in my file, and was going, if only there would be a way to get a video out so that I can show it. And lo and behold, my prayers were answered with Idaho Chick and her comment. So, isn't that special? But yeah, I have noticed that those who follow do get inspired. And when they get inspired, they add to my video content. Stanford was that way from December 2024 through 2025. 2026, he's been busy and occupied. As now we're in the very questions that he was asking about. And yeah, I just put it out there for you. Trump failed last year. That's why. And so here, everything is being rushed upon us as Americans and world. And it's all hitting the fan. And so, yes, I am deeply concerned with that video, as this morning I explained it for you. We are in the month of Adar now, and the signs are happening now in conjunction with the prophecies for now, as this is just confirmation of my concern. So, last year I warned Nelson multiple times in advance. Strengthening Church Members Committee dropped the ball on that one. Oops. And it caused the death of Nelson on the day and minute that I dreamed about. I tried to warn him. He didn't listen. Now Oakes isn't listening. Now Oakes wants to murder everybody because he's not letting Mormons go. And this is what we get into here for the main meat after purging the unbelievers at only 17 minutes in the video. Normally I take hours to purge the unbelievers. Gilbert, with his wife, getting the signing bonus to become an apostle, as Gilbert explains and justifies it for priestcraft. That to serve in God's kingdom, you have to be temporally provided for. He would be correct if he understood that Zion is the people, not the administration. For priestcraft, he was in charge of the education of the church, and he just lied. Lie. So I don't understand why he's overwhelmed and surprised with the signing bonus and his future paychecks from now until the church is destroyed. He knew of this abominational practice condemned in the Book of Mormon, and yet he's surprised by it. The wife, sure. But him? You got to keep these things away from women so that they can't know. So that when you spring it on them, they're all happy. Yay! Oh, wow, $1 million signing bonus and a high paycheck for the rest of our lives. Wow. Yeah, well, I had to overthrow several kingdoms to get this golden treasure for you, dear. But I won't tell you about it because it was too graphically violent. And of all the snuff rapes that I had to perform. And, oh God. But yeah, wars have been caused because of women and men trying to satisfy their needs and wants. And so we don't talk to them about what we had to do to make them happy and not sleep outside in the doghouse. We've got a kingdom to overthrow. We don't have time to share our feelings. God. So, yeah, just take that part of Gilbert. I need to put in Gilbert video, so I don't forget. And now apply it to Mormons who come to Zion. All Mormons who come to Zion. Mormons currently pay tithing to the church. It's forced. It's not a donation, you dumbass billionaire James Huntsman. You had them. All you had to do was present to the court, Your Honor, The defense counsel for the church is lying to you, claiming that tithing is a donation. It's number 10 in the worthiness questions. It is required payment to be Mormon. Yep, rule in favor of the prosecution. Church is now shut down forever. Again. Nope. Mr. Billionaire, who occasionally attended the meetings as often as occasion would permit. I botched that line. As Hinckley got up one priesthood session and teased, what's the young brother's name? Steve Young, about having to play football on Sunday or over conference weekend because it was Saturday, so teasing him about having a Saturday football game to miss conference. Oh my hell. Oh my hell. The stress he had to go through, and not knowing if he could trust any of the women, the myriads of women who wanted to date him and marry him and have his babies. The stress he went through. Yeah, I saw him in New Canaan on my mission. He showed up to church one Sunday, whole bunch of women on his arms, and then others, missionaries, trying to get a signature. Come on, guys, leave him alone. You know, just sat there on the couch going, oh my God, Mormons, oh my hell. And then there was the one Sunday where we had dinner at his parents' house. They were nice couple. Good food. So yeah, and they had it decorated with his accomplishments. Nobody else's kid, none of the other kids, just him. Just him. Steve is our only real child. What's her name? Is it Stephanie? Stephanie Trump? See, we forget who she is. Oh, she's a daughter of Trump? I thought it was just Ivanka who was the only daughter of Trump. And obviously, only Don Jr. Eric? What? Who's Eric? Baron? Oh yeah, the book, The Amazing Journey of Baron Trump, with the last president. Oh yeah, right. Oh, okay. So he's had more children? Interesting. Yes, I'm dragging out this video on purpose. There's no need to rhyme. I could have just said, how are you going to contribute to Zion? There you go. There's your answer. Nope, I gotta make a thing of it. So, the last several years, I have been inspired to go over Section 133 in the context of Section 85. And I showed in the video the picture that I made most recently of Section 85 in the Book of the Law, because of Nelson's little stunt the week of Thanksgiving, rushing it into the Joseph Smith papers. When they said that they were all finished, there's nothing more to add. Yeah, you didn't have anything more to add. That was Brigham Young's. It was his financial ledger of criminal activity of those who were paying him. And yeah, they didn't attach it to Section 85. They attached it to Section 119, proving it's true, Travis. This is why I did a 6-hour video series. I think if I still have it, it's on this homepage of mine. It might still be there. I don't know. I've had to take stuff down so that I can put new stuff up to make things easy for you. Nonetheless, Section 85, Joseph Smith did not have a book of the law. He is getting inspiration for a latter-day book of the law. So, for me. But I had already had that inspiration. Well, associative memory. I faithfully read my scriptures as a youngin' and growing up. And so, unlike the rest of y'all who have to memorize stuff, for me, no, I don't need to memorize stuff. I have it all in my mind, in my associative memory. So when the issue of Book of the Law, oh yeah, I don't know the chapter and verse per se, unless I've repeated it over and over again in video content, so that it then associates with that repetition. But like the video I did and explained this morning or yesterday, today, yesterday's 2.5-hour video and today's explanation of 1.5. Yeah, that's how I work. And because my sole mission is to save your lives, I get inspiration for that. But the answers are still the same that they've always been for the 10 years. We are nearing the time of the Exodus. And so thus the ominous week we've got ahead of us here. And I don't know how. I just get the inspiration and spew it out of my mouth. Right, Nelson? And Holland? And Oaks? And they retaliate. And sure enough, even YouTube retaliated this morning again when I went to pin Idaho Chick's comment to the video so that everybody could see it up at the top. And then my reply. They demanded I prove my identity. You know my identity. You know my IP address. You know my whole personal information. You know. You bleeping bleepers. It's a cyber-terroristic attack to demand that I, signed in, still prove I'm human. Bleep you. Nonetheless, they will never leave me alone until they are compelled to leave me alone. Just like Oaks, he will never leave you alone until he is compelled to leave you alone and let you go. He has made that very clear now. So yeah, Mormons get diverted by lightning striking, touching the Ark of the Covenant, and setting in order the temple that all Mormons, after Brigham Young posted it the year before he died, knew exactly that it was a Mormon coming in the future. And so the church has had to deal with Mormon after Mormon after Mormon after Mormon after Mormon for these 150 years, thinking they're the one mighty and strong. Because we all know the church is corrupt and fallen. That the temple created by Brigham Young's abominable mind needs to be set in order to be restored back to the way it was that Joseph Smith set it up for. We all know this. And yet, the church flexes their muscle, slaughters a few sacrificial lambs, and Mormons go silent, shut up, into the underground, back into bondage and slavery. So, Section 133 is the call out that I will be giving once the transfer of authority is made. Church has to fall, transfer of authority. This is the final four, Idaho Chick. Remember the final four that I used to post regularly for people? Yeah, this is the final four. The fall of the church, the transfer of authority, the Exodus, the building of Zion. We are waiting for this final four forever, because they ran a test run in 2020 and then Trump failed in 2025. And so now we have got signs in the heavens, chaos on the earth, and dogs and cats are living together across the street. Mass hysteria, Mr. Mayor. And so, wait. We have to still wait for the church to fall. And there are many ways in which this church is going to fall from scriptures. The church can take their pick on which one they want to choose. But their agency from the consequences will be their fate. The Law of Purim, March 3rd, lunar eclipse. Uh-oh. But we really need to have something happen first in as much time as possible to save your lives. But I fear of what is coming soon. But I'm always premature. Always. Because I want it now. I'm ready. I'm all set. I don't want to wait. Why do I have to wait for others who are incompetent to do their part before I can then do mine? I'm ready right now. I don't want to wait. I get bored, and then I do videos exposing Oaks. And then he gets mad, and he commits crime against me. Because that's how he deals with his feelings. He's not able to talk and say, yeah, I'm the devil. You know this already, Travis. You've already exposed it. I'm Lucifer. I'm going to murder everybody and get them to believe in the Kool-Aid that it's all about Jesus. Getting them to think of two masters in one brain. See, it's not Trinity in this church. It's a duality. There it is. Oaks is the head of the church, but Jesus is the head of the church in Oaks's brain. I said Oaks, right? I didn't say Nelson. Section 133 is how to prepare. It's to prepare. To purify your heart. And so I then put in 2 Nephi 26 for priestcraft, and that there's no monetary system of economy in Zion. And yet Gilbert, you got to be temporally provided for. That's priestcraft. That's forbidden. Are you that illiterate of the scriptures, Gilbert? I mean, granted, you were born 3 months later than I was, and 1 day. Nonetheless, I mean, did you get my brother's dumb genes? But yeah, I did the video for which Todd was notified by the Strengthening Church Members Committee that he should be upset about, which cost him $2,000 as a public figure. That my brother, being a memorizer only and a loyal lapdog to the church, clueless about the understanding and meaning of the scriptures because of this, easily is given an order and he does it. 2023 in February or March, after the 2 women failed in February, was a perfect illustration of this. That he will commit crimes against his own brother simply because the church told him to do it. He's a Nazi, following orders for which he should say, no, I am not going to follow unconstitutional criminal orders. Well, we got to sue you for doing that video. See, that's where Trump got it from. He gets everything from me. He follows me regularly. He just can't tell you. You know, the oranges of the investigation have to be kept a secret. The Insurrection Act of those in America of Antifa. I have tried, and it just won't get through to him. And so, yeah, Mormons are that way. Gilbert is that way. Full-on Nazis, because they believe the lie and don't have a clue how to study the scriptures to run the test to find out, oh, they're lying to us, so I shouldn't follow and believe that. It's not what goes in that corrupts you. It's what comes out of your mouth and with your 2 little hands that should have been folded snugly and tight. Do they still sing that in primary? Or is that a church hymn now? Right before Amazing Grace that they tricked you with. Really? The church is no longer racist? After 1978? Really? Are you sure? Because I seem to recall doing a video after Gilbert got called about a Church News article where a black man again didn't get put into the apostleship, but they were given a whole ward for themselves. Bleeping believable. If they're good enough to be priesthood leaders at a local level, they're good enough to be an apostle. And yet, God, so much abuse that Mormons just let go by. They don't want to see it. So, And I've explained the whole system, and we won't go over it again in this video. I'm already babbling off as it is. But we'll get to the storehouse here, because that's Idaho Chick's question, and she's already bored. She's gone off and played with the dogs outside. Travis, he's doing it again. Malachi, tithing. Now, yes, before Zion, it's obviously financial, because we all live in governments that use economies. And so, thus, every church of the real church have been having to figure out how to merge the two together. Joseph Smith does this in section 42. So that Mormons who are unable to provide of their farming or husbandry, that they work for money, then the excess money from their business is used for the storehouse, and then the bishop would then purchase the things necessary. The church already does this with the bishop's storehouse. The Utah Food Bank does it this way. If people don't donate food, they donate money. The food bank purchases food to fill in the gaps, especially for the perishable items that they don't want people to donate. So the perishable items are purchased with money for the food banks. But Zion will not be that way. No monetary system of economy. And since, we're talking of the world in Armageddon, it will crash the economies of the world. So Zion needs to be able to be self-sustaining, self-sufficient, self-reliant once this all hits the fan. Thus, the videos I've been telling you about. No monetary system of economy. Mormons, or those in Zion, the Neo-Mormon, provide to the storehouse. The people of Zion give to others in Zion through the storehouse. And so all of the economic corruption in our behaviors, Galatians chapter 5, before listing the fruits of the Spirit, goes over the fruits of corruption. If you be led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revilings, and such like. And then it goes on to tell you the fruits of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. It's the fulfillment of the law. You don't need a list. The list was created to lead people to the fulfillment in the latter days in Zion, where there will be no list. So if you follow the Spirit, the fruits will manifest themselves, and you'll either be good or bad. If you're bad, Get out. Should have run the test. You didn't. You're corrupting Zion. Zion must not have people who believe in falsehoods and lies. Because Matthew chapter 7, or the New Hotness Gospel of 3 Nephi 14, makes it very clear. By their fruits you shall know them. It's not just for false prophets. It's for true prophets. It's for seers, revelators, translators, and for regular members, for regular people, for government leaders, for business leaders, for everybody in life. It's an amazing test. It's real simple to do. And yet, the legislature keeps putting out laws that oppresses the people. And we all suffer. Kidding me? Isn't this a commandment of the church? It's just a coincidence. We're all Mormon in legislature, but it's just a coincidence. Forcing those who are not Mormon to obey your Mormon laws upon the people. Yeah, we see what's going on. We know you by your fruits. You're not fooling us. Dear God. And so, it's agency that governs you. The Spirit, life, liberty, property. Giving to the storehouse. Not promoting yourself to others. Look at how great I am. Get this product now. Don't get the other people's products. Get only mine. I'll be watching you to see who gets my product. No. Again, wrong. You're exalting yourself. You are using the wrong feelings. You're greedy, you're selfish. Corinthians. Talking about love. 1 Corinthians 13, which the Book of Mormon corrects the translation botching of. And so, hate doesn't suffereth long. Hate is not kind. Hate envieth. Hate vaunteth itself. Hate is puffed up. Hate is easily provoked. Right, Oaks? Hate seeketh her own. Hate behaveth unseemly. Hate thinks evil. Dream evil. Hate rejoices in iniquity. Hate rejoices in falsehood and lies. Hate covers up and hides. Hate doubts all things. Hate disparages all things. Hate is very impatient with ADHD. Hate fails. Yeah, that's it. Real simple transposition to make. None of that is allowed in Zion. Monetary system economy encourages this. Social media is getting sued for their extortion racket, but wrongly called addiction. They are doing what they're doing to make money. And it is the easiest thing to understand, and yet the prosecution is botching their case like James Huntsman. God, just unbelievable. Donation? Are you not a Mormon? Are you just giving money to the church? I know your brother John, who's in the Epstein files, thinks he's a spiritual Mormon. Doesn't want to say the word Jack Mormon. Church is watching and listening through the Strengthening Church Members Committee. They'll activate them like they did Mitt Romney's sister. And my mom. But. And so this is the kind of mindset you need to have to prepare yourself for Zion. How do you want to bless the lives of others in Zion? Equally. Not selectively, not segregationally, not to promote yourself and exalt yourself among others, just in secret. That's what the real meaning behind the widow's mite is all about. Everybody says, oh yeah, if you're poor, you got to give all you have to Jesus. Jesus was standing guard to make sure people were paying. Those Pharisees were bragging about how good they were, not about how great Jesus is. I am. And there's that widow. She's going to die soon because she has no money for food or anything. And there she is, giving to me in her final hours. All that she has left. I have stripped her of her basic necessities. I'm horrified nobody has figured that out yet. Or am I not horrified? Or am I horrified that somebody would have figured that out? It's always up to me to figure this out. Dear God. No, not in Zion. That's not how it works. She has already got her basic needs taken care of. She's a widow. She's already taken care of. That's not the 2 mites that she was giving. God. Christians just love to botch the scriptures. False beliefs lead to The Simpsons. Comedy ensues about how stupid people are. And so no. The storehouse is for you to share your talents, your time, your energies, everything with which the Lord has blessed you, or with He will bless you, to the people, to others, equally. So if we were to just use basic necessities, even though we'll try to make the perishable basic necessities like food, robotic automation, so that human contact is as far away from touching it as possible in an ideal Zion. Oaks is trying to ruin this for everybody, in case you didn't know, in case I haven't made that clear yet. Everybody needs a pooper, that's why we invited Oaks. I think I botched that too. Every party needs a pooper. That's why we invited you. For a party. I shouldn't have to explain jokes. And so that's it. You make food, you keep what you need, and the rest you give to Zion, because it's going to perish. You have a time limit on the food. And if you make an overabundance, the food's going to waste. Give it to the storehouse. And so likewise with clothes. Make what you need for your household. The rest, give to Zion. And so yes, there are different sizes and shapes and styles and patterns that will bless Zion, especially for women who will be doing lots of fashion accessorizing with the various wardrobes that they'll be wanting. It is okay to want that. The scriptures of Joseph Smith, not Brigham Young, make it very clear you get your needs and your wants. The wants are not needs. The wants are what you can then give back to Zion. Because, like I said, the needs will try to make automated, robotic, try to separate from humans, and thus mass produce, so that we don't have an insecurity of basic needs. You know, like the internet. God, so pissed with Pie. Because the Democrats, who are incompetent bleeps, were trying to see about getting the internet referred to as a basic utility. And as such, none of this of what's going on today would ever be happening. They failed us, as usual. And so the Pie stepped in, destroyed net neutrality, and that allowed the church to manipulate the internet search engines, social media search engines, for what they're getting sued for now. Extortion. And so yes, the internet now believes they can punish people by denying the internet a basic necessity of life simply because you violate their standards and guidelines, which is the church's. In other words, you're criticizing the church. And so you're denied a basic living. I am horrified as I see the internet getting worse and worse because they're trying to punish and extort me to buy what I cannot buy and will never be able to buy. When TV switched from analog to digital with the congressional order, the government provided everybody a free digital converter. But this time around, with the internet going AI, Windows 10 is obsolete. And pretty soon, Windows 10 will not be able to access the internet. I will not have the money then either, assuming no Armageddon, that is. And so I will be denied internet access, a basic necessity. And it will cause severe damage. And my government isn't planning on doing a bleeping thing to step in and provide me with a basic necessity. Like that Obama free phone for the poor. So yes, some very troubling times are coming, assuming Trump's continued failure. I don't know if you guys fully understand this. So, yeah. Board games. I've been talking about board games. dungeons and false prophets. So for me, among the myriad of things that I will be doing in Zion, I will be, like you, getting my basic needs taken care of, and what I need to take the board game, for example, to make it into an actual board game, to mass produce and make it available in the storehouse. And I won't know if it's a popular game or if it sucks. All of that is gone from me. I am contributing to Zion something that I am hoping will improve society. I've got other stuff also, but, you know. An example. There are many other board games I've got too. No, obviously, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to do. I've got to make the whole history of the world. I got to make the history of the latter days. I got to make the history of the church, because nobody knows it. We've been lied to. The history of the latter days, in case I didn't say that, and translations. Oh God, Stanford, way behind. I put them in a file, so I hope I would remember, and it's, oh God. Why couldn't you just ask a question that had to deal with it, and I can bring out what, well, I did kind of in the reply with the email I sent. But yeah, a retranslation of the Bible corrected, and other scriptures to be included, footnoted, referenced. That big project for anybody who's interested. All of the ancient languages so that you can learn them. Correcting even Gardner's sign list. Oh my hell. Whole bunch of stuff to do. So yeah, I've got plenty to contribute. I just need to get to Zion. Folks. Hello. Call it quits. Save Mormon lives in your final act of defiance. And so yeah, everybody's different. Nobody's like me. Nobody's like Idaho Chick. She's an original. She's one of a kind. She will be missed. Like I missed the Radio from Hell show with Carrie Bellangina. KXRK, Provo, Ogden, Salt Lake City. See, I didn't memorize that. It was just repeated in my associative memory. But yeah, I listened to him as often as occasion would permit. Back in the 2000s, after moving to Utah and finding them on the radio. So, yeah, that's what you should be preparing for. See, I know a little bit about Idaho Chick from what she's revealed in emails and postings like this. And so I know she's into books. And so yeah, that would be a big project that would be beneficial for Zion. Because I know Idaho Chick is still listening. She endured through. She's back from outside playing with the dogs and is now coming back to see if I'm back on topic. Cute little puppies. Yeah. She has a library. And that can be made available to others in Zion. Not just digital or audio, which is digital, but printed publications available for people who want it. Because not everybody wants a tablet to read to their kids to go to bed with. Sometimes people want books. I'm well aware of that. And so we can provide it. Records. People want vinyl instead of cassette tapes or CDs or digital or 8-track tapes. And under wraps with Sean Cassidy on our trip from Michigan moving to Southern California. Stopped at one of the stores and there was the 8-track of Sean Cassidy's Under Wraps. And I knew him from the Hardy Boys. Oh, he's from the Hardy Boys. And so my parents got it. He must be family friendly if he's on the Hardy Boys. And so our station wagon had an 8-track player. So that was played at least once to the toleration of my mom, who's only into Elvis, before his druggy years. We didn't have any 8-tracks of Elvis. We only had her record collection of Elvis. And I don't know who got that, if any at all, after she died. They wouldn't notify me that she died. Nonetheless. Yeah, the church murdered her. They called us and told us to murder her. We poisoned her. I don't know. All I know is she died right at the convenient, coincidental timing when the church attacked me. So, yeah, that simple kind of thing. So it's not complicated. Idaho chick doesn't understand that she doesn't have to do this. And I've tried to say this in other videos. There's a, oh God, I wonder how easy it will be to find in the pile. Obviously, the elderly, children, single parents, disabled, are not required, that they get taken care of. But people are people. Why should it be? People are strange. And they insist and demand on doing something. Fine. But you're not required to. But thank you. So Idaho chick is on the list of not required to do anything. But I know she will be a great asset to Zion. And if she wants to, she can. She doesn't have to. Because we'll still be doing, for example, the publication of books to those who want it. Amazon, for example, if you want a book, you order it, and then that's when they do the printing of it. And then they ship it off to you. And so if it's not a popular book that they're regularly printing, or have a printed supply of, they will then say that it'll take a week or so for shipping, because they've got to make it first. And that's similar to what we'll be doing in Zion. See, in 2008, after my Hinckley dream, I had gotten all the inspiration to merge YouTube, Facebook, and Amazon, and I knew nothing of any of those. I came up with it. That was the system for Zion. Of people doing videos even. Because there will be a list of all the items in Zion. So that if you need something, you go to the list and go, oh, okay, great. I need this, please. And so to help with this list, people can do a video. This is where I will allow it. To show items in Zion. And it doesn't have to be you and your product, though I would appreciate it. to let other people know how to make it and use it. We need those kinds of videos. Because if you got a wire whisk and nobody knows what the hell a wire whisk is to be used for, 1,000 years from now, archaeologists will dig it up and say, oh wow, yeah, this is for religious rituals. Or for the mummification of bodies. So there are some things a little more complex. How to assemble a desk. We need a little something more simple than the instruction pamphlet. We need a physical demonstration. This piece goes into this hole. And so that men can cheat and pretend that they did it without instructions. And for those who, but even still, the products will come fully assembled unless you specifically ask not for it to be assembled, but again, it's there so that everybody will know and have access to know how Zion works and all of the items in it. The building of Zion. We can't let the design go extinct. Just like languages, we can't allow them to go extinct. We need to teach everything in Zion, everything in life, so that if the builders, which I'm hoping for automated robotic work on the building, if by chance there's some failure in the robotic automation, that humans can either fix the robotic automation by referring to the instruction videos or manuals, or do it themselves. Because that's also an option. We are going to have robotic automation for all manual hard labor. Because that's just stupid to enslave mankind with extortion financially to force them into hard labor. And then the coal industry goes obsolete, and so they're all out of a job. And because that's all they know, they are now panicked. What do I do now to make a living to support my family? All of that is gone in Zion. Nobody needs to worry about, the supply of clothing is all full, so learn a new talent, learn a new thing to contribute to Zion with. There will be those who will only be able to provide one item at a time for Zion. There will be those who will have multiple for Zion. I'm well aware of that. Some of you are 1 talent people, some of you are 5 talent people, some of you are 10 talent people. I'm well aware of this. That's why you don't hype your stuff, because then it becomes a contest of who can provide the most to Zion. No, we will not have that. You don't have to tell anybody of what you're doing to Zion to provide. It is between you and the storehouse, but you got to provide. You can't be idle, like I read, if we were to flip it back around. It's actually in the scriptures here that I provided. The idolater who is idle, get out. You're stealing from Zion and not putting back in. But like I said, children, elderly, disabled, single mothers have no need to worry about any of that. But if they want, they can. Children need to be taught. This is what they need to be taught for. all of the sciences to contribute and bless and prosper Zion. And this is the genius of this type of economy without a monetary system, is that the more people, the more prosperous Zion gets. This is what the United States Constitution's economy could have become with a monetary system of economy. Because originally the Constitution was only to tax businesses. The people were not supposed to be taxed. It was a congressional amendment that put that in. And so the original concept was that the citizens have their own businesses that they're operating, and that would be taxed, and then the taxes would go for the care of the people to prosper the people so that they get their own businesses and be taxed and prosper and prosper. And so the more people in America that come, the more businesses of those people, the more taxation into the government, and thus the greater prosperity through that cyclical process. But evil people got in government and destroyed it. This will not be allowed to destroy Zion. And this is the process in Zion, but without a monetary system of economy. So, just so that you know, there was an exclusive that I just gave you there. All right, so we're at 1 hour, 20 minutes. It's about to turn noon. So I don't know if it's still blizzarding. I don't know if if the number of power outages have increased. We can check. Obviously, I'm not being attacked on the video here. Maybe I will now. But we're basically done, even if the camera does freeze. Frozen white screen of death. Gmail pops up immediately now again. Nope, it's going down. Not much, but it's going down. So yeah, it was over 500. Here it's just barely under 500. So it froze. I don't have much long on the internet anyway. The threats are escalating. So there you have it.